Well, hello, welcome to I Love Gay Today. And we are back in the UK, in Liverpool to be exact. And we're here with Dr. Mike Humphrey. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh, I'm excited to have you here. I've loved getting to know your LGBT football club on Twitter,
Yeah,
Rainbow Toffees, because you guys
yeah.
are amazing of what you guys are doing, posting there and sharing there.
Thank you. Yeah, we are a supporters group,
Yeah.
LGBT supporters group for Everton Football Club, which is a club in the English Premiership,
Yeah.
English Premier League, and we're based in the city of Liverpool. For many people watching outside the UK, may not be aware that there are two Premiership football clubs in Liverpool. There's Liverpool FC and there's Everton FC, and I support Everton, and that's the Rainbow Toffees. Shield on the cap.
It's funny. It's interesting because I think that's something very specific and unique, at least European wide, but also in the UK. This whole idea not only of these football clubs, but the passion and the
Oh yeah.
fan base that you guys have for that.
Well, they say that often people ask what's the dominant religion in Liverpool, and the answer is football. It is. It is absolutely huge. Yeah, the following for particularly the clubs in the Premiership, but also clubs lower down in the league as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of support, and as you say, a massive amount of passion as well for the clubs. And that I go to all the home games, occasionally go to the away matches, but there are certainly supporters who go to all the away matches too. So yeah, it's followed very, very intently.
But as a kind of a this football club slash social club, you guys kind of really bring a sense of
Yeah,
community to your folks because I see that in the
yeah,
social media you're sharing.
yeah. What we try and do, I mean, just to explain, um, there are, I think, round about 50 LGBT plus supporters groups now across the country.
Yeah.
All of the Premiership have an LGBT supporters group. We are one of them. And yeah, we try and do a variety of different things, really. I mean, we work with the club, with Everton, in terms of their policies on LGBT equality and so on. But we also organise our own events. We've got one coming up in July, which no doubt I'll talk about in due course.
Yeah.
But yes, so we also run a very successful and active Facebook group, which of course anyone is welcome to come along and have a look at. Look up Rainbow Toffees on Facebook and you'll find us.
Yeah.
And Paul, my colleague who runs Rainbow Toffees with me, looks after our Twitter feed. So yeah, we're pretty active. We have lots of people involved who are all involved in different ways. My own role is to work largely with the club. I do a lot of the liaison with Everton, and also I do sort of media work like this, like talking to you.
But I loved
So
it
that's what I do.
on your Facebook group. I loved seeing that you're known as the People's Club.
We are, yeah. That was one of our former managers, David Moyes, who coined that one. It comes down to the fact that Everton has a very, very strong localised support within the Liverpool area, but also that we're particularly renowned for having an excellent and really well organised community function. Everton run a group called Everton in the Community,
Yeah.
where they do all sorts of things in the local community, and the players, when they sign they sign to play for Everton, know that part of the deal is to be involved in the community activity. And we are the best when it comes to that. I think that is generally agreed, actually, that Everton really have are the sort of gold standard to follow when it comes to involvement in the local community.
Yeah, no, like I said, I don't think people out on the outside looking in really realize all this. And
Yeah, I suppose they, I mean, I was saying before we went live that
yeah,
I've been to the States a number of times, and I've always found it quite interesting chatting to Americans who do take an interest in British football, or soccer as they call it. Uh, and I've met a few. I mean, last time I was on a cruise ship, would you believe, and met a guy from Boston who's an Arsenal supporter, and he certainly knew his stuff, but he was fascinated to find out, some sort of facts and figures that he didn't know about the Premiership and how it operates. And one of the questions he asked me was, "Hey, can you tell me what's Boxing Day?" Because he said, I was fascinated by the fact that the day after Christmas Day in England is called Boxing Day, and you seem to do nothing but watch sports. I said, absolutely, that's exactly what it is. I said, we're all too full and too hungover to do anything other than watch sports. So, that is the tradition. All of the clubs play on Boxing Day.
Yeah, I love that. How about are you guys friends with the local cop outs?
We are, yeah. Paul, who runs the Cop Out, which is the Liverpool equivalent of ourselves. I've known Paul for years, actually,
Okay.
before either of us became involved in
Yeah.
in setting up Cop Outs and Rainbow Toffees. But yeah, I speak to Paul regularly. We've done things together. In fact, we got interviewed together on the ground in Anfield last year.
Okay.
There's also a third team on Merseyside called Tranmere Rovers. They play in a lower division, and they have a group called Rovers and Out, and we have a good link with them as well.
Yeah. Well, there's this. It's timely that we plan to get together here today because it's all over Twitter and all over the news. This whole thing with in Munich, Germany, I believe,
Yeah, that's right.
lighting up their stadium with rainbow colors, and they were told not
Yeah,
to.
this is all about what's been going on in Hungary, actually. I mean, UEFA, which is the organization which sort of runs football across Europe, are currently organising a international competition, the Euros, as it's known, across Europe. And at the very same time, Hungary have recently passed some anti-gay legislation in their parliament. They have a pretty horrendous government and thoroughly nasty president called Viktor Orban. Was he the
Yeah.
prime minister, one or the other? Anyway, not a nice man. And the legislation is, deeply homophobic, basically, banning any sort of publicity for anything LGBT to people under 18. Clearly, it's something people are very unhappy about, and so one of the stadiums proposed actually lighting up the stadium in rainbow colours. UEFA got terribly worried about that and thought it might be seen as political or whatever. So they were asked not to do it. But in fact, during the game, a fan ran onto the pitch with a rainbow flag, which was great. And it's got absolutely loads of publicity as a result. And in fact, yesterday, we all switched our Twitter and Facebook pictures to a picture of that stadium lit up in rainbow colours. So we probably actually got even more publicity than had it actually happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think something else happened too yesterday. What I was seeing was that over 40 different football clubs around Europe lit their
They
stadiums up
did.
in rainbow colors.
They did indeed, yeah, absolutely. And so I think that it's good to see that sort of thing happening. Okay, football as a sport is not perfect. We are still in England waiting for the first openly gay player in the Premiership to announce their sexuality. I'm sure it'll happen one day, but we're still waiting, and that rather does show to me that football is still a bit behind the times. But yeah, I think it's good to see that these sort of things can happen, and the behaviour of governments like Hungary's are not seen as acceptable.
We had ours yesterday. I know it's not American football and soccer, not the same, but I don't know
Indeed.
if you saw, we had an NFL professional player come out yesterday, or the
Yeah,
day
I did
before.
indeed. For the Raiders, yeah,
Yeah, Las Vegas Raiders, which
as
used
they
to
are
always,
now.
there was
Yeah.
always the Oakland Raiders and
I was
then
going
the
to
LA
say, it used to be
Raiders.
the Oakland. They have a franchise system, don't they? So they switch around the country. Yeah, I was going to say
Some,
when I heard about the Las Vegas Raiders. I thought funny. I always thought they were in Oakland, but there you go.
yes, I'm sure it's a long story. I've seen parts of it being from LA
Yeah,
originally. So, but
yeah,
no, you were talking about some of the things you have coming up this year, specific even
yeah.
in July.
We do, yeah. We're actually putting on a charity football match.
Yeah.
Now, to tell you a little bit more about this, basically it's ourselves and Rovers and Out, which is the LGBT supporters group for Tranmere Rovers. Tranmere is based just over the River Mersey, across the Mersey from Liverpool, in a suburb of called Birkenhead, and we've agreed, along with the Tranmere Group, to operate a charity football match, which is going to take place on Sunday, would you believe, the 4th of July, which, of course, is a very important day for all you people over in the States.
Yep.
So it'll be taking place at Target Football, which is based at Admiral Park in Admiral Street. That's in Toxteth, which is in Liverpool 8. Kickoff will be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And the idea is to raise some money. And we're going to be raising money for Sahir House, which is the HIV charity for the Liverpool area. They increase their raison d'etre is effectively to increase HIV and sexual health knowledge, to reduce stigma, and to campaign for the rights of people living with HIV and related intersectionalities around sexuality, gender, asylum status, and so on. So they're a great charity. We've got a mascot as well, which is going to be fun. It's a unicorn, would you believe? So yeah, we've hired a unicorn for the day. There'll be raffles, there'll be appearances from former Everton players. It's going to be a good day, and we really hope people will come along and support it.
I love it. Well, I'm looking forward to, I think I'm going to learn a lot. I travel a lot, and I've been to the UK and Manchester and Liverpool several
excellent
times.
Glad to hear it.
I did my tours, saw my Beatles statue, did my photos.
Oh, excellent. Well, let us know when you're coming back, because and I would love to come back to the States. I can't wait for the borders to open so I can go back to America. It's been a while. And I've got penciled in perhaps a trip to Seattle and Portland, and also to Nashville and Memphis. I've been all over the States, been to lots of different places. So, I can't wait to get back.
I love it. Well, thanks so much for being here and just taking a few moments of your time to share a bit of your story with us.
No problem. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Absolutely. You take care now.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.